Today, we interviewed Dudley Ajan, Donwell's ex-coworker, and he had some things to say. If you haven't seen episode 1, I suggest you watch that before watching this.
Anything else you've seen them take off job sites, like tools or people's, like other construction equipment and take it home, or?
I see him take a lot of material. Like I said, I went to his house and he had to have 20, 30 buckets of mud that been sitting out there a couple of years and frozen. That was no good. And I mean, you can't freeze mud. Mud can't sit out in the cold. It'll freeze it. Once it freezes, it'll mold. He's mixing that shit in with the mud at the houses, trying to get rid of it because he took it from Tucker and them, and he was trying to get rid of it. But his whole yard was full of it. I said, man, brand new buckets of mud. But then he accused me of stealing mud when he told me to go put it in my storage building because he didn't have no room at the house.
Do you know if he's still working for Tucker?
I don't know, but I heard he was. I don't know.
So who else would he
I
get?
haven't seen him since he ripped me off, but I saw him almost every day last week.
Yeah, like you said.
Kind of weird. My hair stood up the first day I saw him go by because my teeth were gringed. And I thought he wasn't doing 90 mile an hour either. He was doing like 20 mile an hour. So he's seen me there, and he's cahooted with my old boss that I had that just supposedly fired me. But he's cahooted with him, and he's a damn needle junkie. That's why I don't work for him no more. So he wants to accuse me of being, what do you call me, a junkie? Yeah, and a junkie is a needlehead. Somebody who, maybe a crackhead or meth head, but I always thought a junkie was just a heroin dope head, shoot up needles. That's what I always thought. And to be frank honest, I ain't done none of it. I like tattoos, but my ex-boss, his hands, you can see the tracks on them. John Womack paint. He wanted to say I'm a junkie because he got on with Don Wells, and I told him too much, John, and he went ahead and got in with Don Wells and wanted to throw me back in as being the main suspect. I can't hold a job.
Do you know where Don was on June 15th? Was he at work that you know of? I know you were fired the day before.
Jesse told me he went to skim a house. Wasn't that when I went up to Jesse and I said, Jesse, I said, where's Don? He said he's skimming the house. I said, he's skimming the house when his daughter's missing? I said, there's something wrong with that. I said, because me personally, I don't know that I could work if somebody was skimming a house and my daughter's missing.
What house was that? Where?
That was one of their houses. That was I forget the name of that subdivision. That's in Jonesboro though.
So he was in Jonesboro
It's
area.
right there, huh?
Was it in Rock Springs?
No, it was in Jonesboro.
Right there where?
I want to say by the police station, Sullivan County Police Station.
So he was there the day Summer was reported missing.
What is that police station up there in Jonesboro? Is that Sullivan County? That is Sullivan County, isn't it? I believe so. I think it is Sullivan County Police. They're pretty big. Huh?
I don't know.
That's what Jesse said. I didn't know. I didn't go. I wasn't allowed to. I was fired. I just didn't understand why he was going to work when his daughter's missing. That's what I didn't get.
I talked to his neighbor yesterday in front of his house because we were out there. We went and got the dogs food because we heard they were hungry. There was complaints of animal abuse there. The neighbor came out. His name was Donnie lives behind me. Don Wells was throwing his other neighbor, Fred Hill, under the bus, just like with you. Matter of fact, when you talked to her, he said the same thing in the same interview. Fred Hill, meth guy. You gotta look at Fred Hill, the meth guy. Fred Hill confronted him. He said, don't put my name in your mouth anymore. I will, kill you. Same kind of thing what he did to you. Drag your name in the mud.
He said so many lies. He's put so many people under the bus. He's wasted so many volunteers. I mean, I feel horrible for you guys because y'all got to listen to this shit and try to make something out of it. And you want to believe him because you want to help Summer, but really,
we don't believe him.
You don't realize you're dealing with a psychopath.
You think he's a psychopath? Sociopath, psychopath, or do you think she's just a drug head?
I mean, just a drug head from far
He shot a
between.
flare at us.
Les, I don't know if you knew that, yeah?
He shot a flare gun at us.
We were feeding his dogs.
We were feeding his dogs in front of his house asking, where's Summer? And guess
Please.
what? He pulled out somewhere up on that hill, man. Pow! And this thing went right over our head. A flare.
Got it on film.
Got it on film. With him and Tucker. Is he a contract with Tucker?
Yeah, he's a subcontractor. That's all he is. Yeah, Tucker doesn't want anything to do with it.
So Tucker can't fire him or anything like that.
They feel bad for him because they believe his shit.
Why? And I reached out to Richard
They're
Tucker.
supposedly a Christian, but Richard's a good guy. Richard is an awesome guy. His wife, Miss Rose, beautiful people. They'll do anything in the world. The problem is the company's so big that they don't actually get to see everything. Like Jesse probably never goes on 90% of his jobs because he's got people to go there and he relies on those people to pick up the checks and do what they got to do. Okay, the job. Well, me personally, I have a few haters out there. I'm a threat to some of them and they don't want me around, so.
Do you want to tell us who those are? This way you have an added layer of protection?
Oh, Mike Oliver's going to stick up for me, and he chose to turn his back on me.
Inside with Don?
Put me in a category, yeah. Like they wanted to say that I was, I guess, a meth head.
So who is Oliver? He works with Don?
No, he works with Tucker. He's Tucker's touch-up. They tried saying I took too long on the job, but they never actually went there to the job. The job had 10 bathrooms, and that's how big the house was. Okay, it was over $1 million home. And you could see every flat, butt joint, the arches looked like shit. The screw holes you could see all along the wall because they're painted a baby blue semi-gloss paint. And it showed everything. And I went through and fixed the whole house, and it took over 2 weeks, and nobody once checked up on me, but they said I wanted to take too long on the job. Well,
You might want to put that down here.
who says one man can do all this? I pretty much solid coated walls, fixed all the arches. The only one that actually knew what I'd done and appreciated was the homeowner. He saw me there working till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and he thanked me because he noticed everything that I'd done. All the details. He had a multi-million dollar home. It was custom. I would have been pissed. The last thing you see is drywall when it's all done.
Is there any other companies that Don Wells works for? Like besides Tucker? Like he's just his own. It's a subcontract.
Tucker's always been his own guy. That's been his man, Tucker. That's why he felt threatened by me because he said I had so many attached jobs I could do. Why do I need to work there? I was going to take his job. But he took his own job. I was there to help him as a partner.
If Don, sounds awful, but was to dispose of, say, Summer's body, where do you think, because you're more familiar around here than we are, where do you think that location could possibly be?
It's a long shot, but it's between Rock Springs and Greene County.
Why?
Well, because that's his backwards. If you look up the map, he could be in Greene County in 30 minutes from his house. And we did a lot of jobs out there in Chucky. Chucky is another one. There's some woods out there, man, that scare me. I don't know. It's hard to say. I would have never thought, but I would guess Rock Springs to Greene County, where I checked. And that covers Jonesboro and everything. That's a straight shot.
But what is your opinion on what you think happened this summer? Like, do you think something happened with Candace and Axel?
My wife and I talked about that, and I really believe, I don't know what my wife thinks, but I really believe that Summer got hurt, and fell and killed herself. That was a dangerous house. And for her to have to say she came out
and screamed. Why did you scream? What did you see that you had to scream?
So you believe Jody Sue when she said she heard that scream?
Yeah, I do. I believe that she saw her daughter dead, you know, and it was an accident.
So then what do you think happened at that point?
Yeah, but I also thought that, you know, what I said before, Don molested his daughter, she was jealous and pulled an envy on her and killed her own daughter. You know, she didn't watch the kid. You know, I mean, you know, when they ran out the house, did they not have drawers on, no clothes? I was like, I said, hey, that one right there in the front is a little girl. They shaved her head. They shaved all their heads.
Did they ever tell you why they shaved the daughter's head? Why they shaved Summer's head? Did he indicate the reason?
Don said because she woke up and she shaved her mom's hair. Or she cut her own hair, so she had to shave it all off, and Candace just went ahead and shaved hers to make it look like hers. That's what Don said. But, truth be told, they had lice, and they shaved all their heads. All of them had shaved heads. They usually do that because you're too lazy to take care of your kids. I'm just trying to figure out what had Don's mind destroyed on Monday.
On the toilet.
You know what I mean? Because I've never seen him that way.
So he was distraught on a Monday.
Something happened Monday morning. I didn't hang out with him.
You talked about a meeting.
He talked about, you know, leaving all this shit, you know what I mean? And yeah, well, see other women.
Did Don ever
He'd see a girl one time looked like she had been 14 years old when he was eyeing her up. I'm like, dude, that's like a kid, bro.
Where was this at?
This was I want to say Jonesboro.
Was somebody
what are you looking at? You know, I said, that kid can't be 12, 14 years old. You know?
Did he ever say anything about Candace cheating on him?
Yeah, he did. He told me about that.
Jose?
Those charges she filed on him with Jose or something.
Jose Ramon.
There was something there. I remember him telling me that she was. I think he had to go to Utah or some shit. You know, and she had pressed charges against him, and he had to go in there. She caught her cheating on him with some Mexican. I remember something like that, yeah.
Did he ever talk bad about the Mexican guy?
Oh yeah, he said he went over there and go kill him and shit. Then she was playing some prank on him or something. They got a twisted relationship. Him and Candace, that's a special breed there.
No, yeah.
You got your hands tied.
You seen her do drugs ever? Or drink? You said you saw her drink those big bottles of.
Yeah, no, she had a plate on the table though when I walked over to get my check the first time.
A plate of what?
A plate with something lined out on it. I doubt it was cocaine. It looks a little expensive for them.
Have you seen her under the influence before, like at the house or anywhere? Like, you ever see her like, you know, under the influence?
All the time?
I think I drove there. I had to drive there 3 times, 2 or 3 times. I ain't kidding. It didn't matter if it was in the morning or in the evening. Both of them was taken. They were both under the influence of something.
With the kids there, present?
Yeah, with the kids there.
And would the kids
And screaming at them all the time.
Did you ever see them like in the house and just let the kids just wandering outside on their own? Summer outside?
Did whatever they wanted. The boys were in charge of something. Not Candace. God.
Do you know why Don wanted, you said that he talked about cheating on his wife, but he wanted to actually leave her. He talked about leaving her. Do you know why? Did he ever tell you or indicate why he wanted to leave her?
He just said he was dealing with too much shit, you know, and they've been together too long, things like that.
Anything you want to say on the record?
Is there any last things that either you or Linda would like to just, I mean, this is your opportunity.
Absolutely.
You have something to
what
say to
can
the
I
world.
say? You know, I hope to God something good comes out of this as far as summer goes.
Right.
Because parents, I thought that Don Wells was my #1 suspect.
I'd go to jail on it.
I have two last questions for you. Have you heard of Don or Candace being involved in any search for Summer? Have you heard, because you guys are close by here? You have not. Okay, and the last question that I have is, do you believe that they obviously have the ability to harm their children? Have you seen them harm their sons? I mean, not just Summer,
Yes.
but we've never asked you
I've
about
never
boys.
seen him harm Summer, but I've seen him beat the shit out of his son.
Explain that.
All three of them?
Two of them.
Which ones?
I mean, he just, the one he did when he had him on the job site. I don't know, he back-talked him something, backhanded him, grabbed him by his pants, gave him a wedgie, told him get outside, go sit in the truck. That was at the chocolate factory.
You know which son that was?
Josie.
Josie.
Yeah.
Josie's like
The one-
their
the one who
prize
was
child, it
smoking
seems.
weed.
Yeah, the oldest one? Because
Yeah.
he told us that he wants a free Josie t-shirt. What does that mean, free Josie? Well, you know that they were taken away.
It's a trophy for Don.
Really? He's a trophy to Don.
It's a trophy to Don. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
What do you think?
He thinks, you know, like his little peace sign with me, having victory. You know, he's getting what he wants. He's got everybody going around in circles, and the finger's on him. But he still wants to throw everybody else under the bus and give them this hard time, you know, and come at them about all these crazy questions when really he's a suspect. Him and Candace did this to their kids. They know what they've done, and then they're not saying nothing. And everybody's feeding on their bullshit. Really, they think it's a fucking game.
Yes, they do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
It's a
you.
game to them.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I say that
Okay?
all
And that's
the time.
a trophy.
It's sad.
Yes.
It's his trophy to get
Yes.
off on that. It's a big joke. When they hit up the phone, they laughing at us. Well, you know, one day they'll cry
Yeah.
if they make it that far.
We want to talk to other friends of Don and Candace. Do you know any other people that
I was his friend, so I don't know them.
you don't know any?
Do you know anybody who
associates?
would be willing to talk to us
What about
about
coworkers of his?
He had his friend Jamie. That knew Don more than anybody. But I don't
Jamie
know.
who?
I don't know Jamie's last name.
And he works for Tucker?
Yeah, he works for Tucker. He's not a sub. Back by the hour.
What job position is he there?
Huh? He's a foreman.
He's a foreman.
Yeah, he runs a crew for Tucker Drywall.
Anybody else worth seeing, like coworkers and
Nobody liked Don.
why didn't nobody like him?
He's a piece of shit.
So no, he
You
wasn't
know?
popular.
He was slow. Nobody liked Don. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
I just got stuck working. But they set us up to fail.
When you say slow, what do you mean? Like slow, like just
Dumb.
Physically and mentally.
Candace
He's
too?
a special.
He's like a child.
So a lot of
She's
people.
slower than molasses.
So a lot of people say, how
Yeah.
can two slow people get away with,
Because
doing
they're
this?
playing the dumb role. I'm too dumb. Duh. Please. They know so much that they're good at it. This isn't their first rodeo. They've done this shit.
Career criminals.
She worked at a circus. When I worked in construction for my own business, I shut a circus down because half of the criminals ripping people off of my couch. Just trying to give away hot stolen four-wheelers at a circus. They're all criminals. Nobody legit works at a circus. So
Have you ever met the grandmother?
That was my
that's
question.
a special one there.
Why?
Grambus is, well, she never said a whole lot, but she had this look on her face. And sometimes I wish I was a fly on the wall just to hear what they were talking about, because they were very, very devious. They had to go outside and talk. They leave the kids inside with me, and they go outside and talk. They would come to the job, and they would start screaming at each other. So Don didn't like Candace or
Grandma.
Mom.
When you were saying it's
And
not
you're-
fair to us, it's not fair to us
You
when
know,
we were on
my
the
wife
phone.
posts things on Facebook because she wants to say something nice about our day, and somebody's got to message you and send you a picture of me being accused of
Don, you know, being a child something. I mean,
Right, right.
That's
You get
pretty
a lot.
shitty.
Yeah, did you get a lot, or do you still get messages?
Oh yeah, I still get it.
That's gotta be
What
hard.
kind of messages?
Just the things that, have you heard the latest on what Don's saying,
ain't been on in 4 months.
about your husband, is y'all part of
Bless
just random stuff.
Dang, whenever it's right.
They're harassing you. It's harassment.
More like just like it seems like they believe you guys. Yeah. Saying what Don is up to, and why he's trying to bring you guys.
We believe you, everything you guys have
Yeah,
said. You guys seem
absolutely.
very like you guys have been very honest
Yeah.
with us.
We don't. We don't have a reason to lie.
Right,
I
right.
drove her nuts for 2 months talking about this asshole. She got tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I thought she thought I was making things up because she couldn't believe the shit I tell her. And I wish I could remember half that shit because she told me you need to stop.
Right.
I said, no, this dude's not right. And then I think I told you, 2 weeks ago? I said, you see, I tried to tell you. Did I not say that?
I mean, I believed you the whole time. It's just that every day you come home from work, I'm like, do we have to talk about Don today?
Based on Don's, past criminal background, do you think that people underestimate him as being manipulative, conniving, cunning?
Yeah. I think that he is exactly what that is.
Yeah.
He's very manipulative. He did so many times where he was saying he was bragging on me, when really he wasn't bragging on me. He was cutting my throat, throwing mud on the floor and taking pictures of it and sending it to him when I'm the one who cleaned the whole house.
Do you think? How old are you?
42.
42. Do you think he's just trying to belittle you, or in a sense, or because you're
He was
younger?
trying to make me look bad because he wanted to be me and he couldn't. He's got 40 plus years of finishing. I've got 12 years of finishing. Also been a mechanic all my life. So between my construction business, my mechanic business, my detail shop, I was 18 years in business for myself. You know, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Virginia. I mean, you know, he envied me. He was upset that he couldn't do the things I could do. And he was more upset that I could do his job better than faster. And I wasn't on that. So that was his problem. He had to throw me under the bus and get me out of there so that I didn't take his job from him. That's the only thing he had. Nobody else would work.
Dudley, Linda, God bless you. Thank you so much for taking your time out.
Thank you
interviewing
so
with us.
much.
I know this had to be difficult. I know you guys had to be terrified, and I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for
Thank
showing
you.
up and just really being honest with us and allowing us to take this. We will, we promise you, we will.
Oh,
she's,
yeah.
she's beautifully editing. We'll be happy to
We're
send you a copy of everything.
We're thankful that you guys are out there and help.
Yeah,
Because there's people like this that get away with this shit.
yeah.
And that's not fair. You know, there's thousands of people volunteered their time and they've wasted so many good people. I feel sorry for what's going to happen to them when they find out. I would look
And we
at
say
me.
that all the time.
So what do you feel about, like, have you seen the church people hanging out with Don Wells, like this woman Robin Lane in the church? What do you feel about that? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, he's manipulating the system. You know, it's his little way of covering up, you know, getting heat off him, making himself look good. It's about someone, not Don. But unfortunately, Don and Candace are the ones that did it, so they gotta try to make things look good for them. You know, but everybody knows. You know, they're only fooling themselves. I was just telling me that they've been fighting over meth, and he's over there starting trouble at the house. He's living there in the camper across the street. And then all of a sudden, you know, she's up missing. I'm fired, but nobody suspected them, and I believe Grandpa went out of state.
Took him to North Carolina.
Oh.
Oh no, she went to Wisconsin from right here.
Wisconsin, yes. With
So
Jose,
Don-
probably.
Don was with Jose 3 days before Summer went missing. Or that
Yeah,
Candace-
Jose was at Don's property, staying there before she came up missing. They were fighting over meth. So he just gotten out of jail, supposedly,
So either he just got out of jail and Don did all his stash, and they fought. You know, something came up. You know, and then they talking about all his money. You know what I mean?
Where was he in jail at? Around here?
I don't know, Rogersville. I don't know where he was in jail at, but Don told me he just got out of jail and they've been at the house fighting and he's on meth, this and that. Everything every day was meth with Don.
Meth.
All he talks about is meth. I'm like, talk about it, you must do it. He acts like it, he looks like it, he lived like it.
Have you ever seen Jose?
Never saw him, but he's Hispanic from right here.
You just heard about him through Don.
He just told me that, yeah, he told me if it was that, it was that was Saturday, so that was Friday, Thursday or Friday before Summer went missing.
Wow.
Yeah, before I got fired.
Gotcha.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He was living there, or like
Yeah, he was staying there.
staying with them.
With the mother.
Oh,
That was the
grandma.
mother-in-law. That was Grambo's woman.
Okay.
She was with him.
Okay.
That's new to me.
That is new
That's why I
information.
said I had to film and document this because that's new to me. That we thought
I can't believe
after.
we never heard about him.
Yeah, we thought that we heard that Jose was part of that domestic violence incident where Don got arrested, and then Jose just went off and he never, was involved with that family again. We didn't know that he stuck around and he was with
He
Candace
just
and
got out
Don.
of jail and went straight there to Don's house.
He was there a couple days before Summer went missing. Interesting.
Yeah,
and
then Grambo goes out of town.
I wonder if police or authorities spoken to Jose.
I wonder if Summer's living. She's in Wisconsin. With Jose.
Do you think Grandis and Jose were in a sexual relationship, like a couple?
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah,
Allie said
that was what Don said.
We also heard through Allie, a friend of Candace, who Jose was actually in a relationship with Allie, and then Jose went up to the house and then had something going on with Candace.
And
then
her
the-
grandmother
and then the
was
grandmother
fighting over-
so
they
it
were
was like
fighting over
They were
him.
fighting over Jose.
Candace is Grambo and Candace. They have the same name. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
weird. So be careful.
no, they were
She's-
very specific that it was Candace, and then Candace and her mother Grandis, aka Candy, were fighting over this Jose. That
Nonsense,
Grandis
fighting over
that Grandis wanted Jose to herself. And we thought that was twisted, and it's just funny that you're saying that Grandis actually got him to herself. That is disgusting because he was sleeping with Candace and Grandis.
That's what Don said.
How many animals
Don
you
said they
saw?
were fighting over meth too.
How many animals do you see on that couch? Like dogs. You see dogs, lots of dogs, and dogs, cats
What about
on the property. Have you seen
Lots of them.
How many?
Did Grandis do?
How many?
They had to have 15 dogs running around, maybe 20.
We saw, what we saw,
There had to have been 30
four or
cats.
five the first
30 cats on there.
It was everywhere. I was like, God damn. You step out in the yard, you have fleas jumping on you.
Gotcha. Was Grandis, aka Candy, was she also on meth and drugs as well? So all three of the parents are just drugged out up there all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And did she have an alcohol problem as
She
well?
did, yeah.
So they're all alcoholics and drug addicts. All the adults on that
I just
property.
never saw Don drinking.
But you knew that Candace and her mother were constantly drinking.
Yeah, they always had those cheap ass 24, 40
Gotcha.
ounce cans.
Okay.
And I told her, so I never understood why they never brought up Jose. He was there.
Because everybody thought he was gone.
Yeah, I remember the day he came home and was talking about Jose,
Do you know if Jose could have possibly been there the day she went missing?
I heard something about the boys saying, where y'all going? And they were carrying Summer out the house, Don and Candace, and she was head down on his shoulder, carrying her out, and they left. So I don't know if that was Sunday or Monday. He was in his Subaru, so obviously
And he said that was the first time him going to
never
work in
brought
the
his
Subaru.
Subaru. I heard somebody say something about that. The boys looking and they saw Daddy and Mama carrying Summer out of the house with her head down like she was sleeping.
I know.
This was when everybody was in the investigation.
And then you saw him on that Monday before he got fired crying or distraught.
No, he wasn't crying. He was definitely disturbed. Mentally disturbed.
And you don't
Like
think
he
it was
lost
like,
his prize.
and you don't think it was because
Summer
he
was
was,
his prize.
yeah, gotcha. You don't
Okay.
think it was drug related or anything like that, like he just hadn't had any,
No.
it was something
I've
more
seen those
personal.
days. I
Okay.
saw what that day was like.
Gotcha,
I've seen them.
Gotcha.
That wasn't that day.
gotcha,
No, he
gotcha.
lost his prize. Summer was his prize. Okay? That was his little trophy. He even said if anything was ever going to happen, it was going to be on Candace's watch.
So he knew,
already knew.
he knew that she was a piece of shit.
After talking with Dudley Ajan, he seemed truthful and authentic. He seemed like he really wants to help find Summer.
It's about summer. It's about summer. It's about summer. It's about summer. It's about summer.